Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford, Salina, Kansas. Your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your scheduling information today on a Tuesday, as we're going to go through what's scheduling for this Tuesday, February 19th, 2026. So if you have an order placed with your local dealer, this will be some great information for you to have to see what the chances are to get your order scheduled for a production date for April. So we're going to dive into this. So make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos. And if you have some questions about this, you can drop them down below. Also, you can come over to our live stream tonight, ask any questions you might have about that. We're going to be talking a little bit about auto start, stop, and some other things like that. So come on over and join us if you'd like. But without further ado, if you're first time watching one of our videos, one of these scheduling videos, please watch this next part. We're going to go over the different terminologies that you'd expect that we're going to talk about in today's video. So if you, again, haven't watched one of those, watch this. Otherwise, check out the timestamps, move to the vehicle you're looking for to get the information you're needing by hitting those timestamps down below. Now, on this, what we're talking about here is when orders are scheduled, those orders are, or I should say when people put deal orders in, they're put in the order bank. And that is where dealer places all their stock and their retail orders. Now, retail order, that is a customer placed order. That is, Ford knows that is going to be a sold order for that dealer for a particular customer that ordered it. Now, a stock order, that is an order that's placed by the dealer for their stock or their lot inventory, what they would have on their lots. The priority code, that's a priority that's given to orders by the dealers. So 03 through 19 is a retail order type, and 20 to 80 is a stock order type. Now, the lower the better, which is why retail orders are always looked at first, and an 03 will be looked at before a 19. Now, 19 is a default for retails, and 20 is a default for stock. Scheduling, that is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in future months. So that's kind of what we're talking about in this video. So production date, that is when Ford plans to build your vehicle. And first it'll get scheduled to the week, and as it gets closer, it'll get scheduled to the actual day. Now, allocations, that's a big one. Allocations is where Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. A dealer needs an allocation to get an order scheduled in the order bank. So a dealer earns those allocations based on their sales of each model within their region. So if a dealer doesn't have an allocation, they can't get an order scheduled. Just have an order in there is not good enough. Now, constraints, that's an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And that could be based on the next one, which is the capacity. That is the planned production rate of a given motor, trim, or option. So when the amount of orders is over the capacity, that's where we get that constraint where it might take longer to get scheduled or longer to build for that reason. Now, job 1 and 2, production does get split into different job runs. If they want a particular, maybe there's a cool feature or something they want to add, and it's not ready at the beginning of the model year, they'll go ahead and start it with job 1s and then reintroduce those into job 2. Or if they get a supply issue where they can't make something, they can make those changes for the second half of the year, and that's when you'll see that job 2 changes. Balance out, that's the end of production, or what they call the balance out a particular option or model usually we see that balance out at the end of a certain model year before switching over to the next model year. So that's all the different terminology right there. So hopefully that'll help you out, especially like I said, if you're new to this, learning some of those different terms will help you out as we go through this. Now let's talk about the first vehicle, the 2026 model year Mustang. The order banks are open up for the Mustang. They are scheduling this week. Main commitment, that means that they're going to be scheduling for both a retail and stock. So if a dealer doesn't have a retail order, then they're going to use that allocation towards a stock order. They are scheduled for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 27th. So let's see here. That's no other notes on that. Next up is the 26 model year Bronco Sport. Order banks are open up for the Bronco Sport. Again, main commitment for the Bronco Sport. So it'll be stock and retails will be looked at to use those allocations. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 27th. And it does say availability is Big Ben and Heritage. So major availability for the Big Ben there, it looks like. All right, no other constraints there. Next up is the 26 model year Bronco. The order banks are open up for the Bronco, and they're doing main commitment. Again, that's going to be stock and retail order types, and they are scheduled for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 13th. This saying here, same reminder as last week about the wheel for the Raptor. So that 17-inch dark carbonized gray alloy painted beadlock capable forged wheel that's optional on the Raptor, included on the Code Orange appearance package, as well as the black appearance package and the Raptor Shadow Black appearance package won't be available until further notice. So, and then also 60th anniversary with the Wimbledon White also won't get scheduled until further notice as well. So no other constraints on Bronco other than those. All right. And it does say in here, and I didn't mention on the others, that they still need to schedule about 54%, about half of their production has been scheduled for April. So they still have about 54% to schedule for April. Mustang they still have 35% available to schedule, and Bronco Sport 100%. They didn't schedule last week. All right, next up is the 26 model year Mustang Mach-E. Order banks are open up. They are scheduled both retail and stock this week for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 27th. And it looks like they still have 58% available to get scheduled for April production. So, all right, next up is the 26 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up for the Explorer. And this is job 2, startup scheduling for both stock and retail. And they are scheduled for the weeks of 4/13 through the weeks of 4/27. And yes, so there we go. And it does say in here to schedule your active version sooner. We recommend adding the comfort package with the 20-inch carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel. And then it does also say in here to increase the scheduling probability for a platinum 4-wheel drive version. We recommend adding the 21-inch bright machined aluminum with the tarnished dark pockets. So there you go. And it does say they still need to schedule 88% of the production for those dates in there. So, all right. And then outside of that, good availability. Low availability for platinum version, decent availability for trimmer and ST. Other than that, I think that's it. A trimmer ultimate package, also pretty good availability, about 14% production for those. All right, next up is a 26 model year Expedition. Order banks are open for the Expedition. They still need to schedule about 85% of the production for April. And for that reason, they're going to be scheduling both stock and retail for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 27th. Important note in here, 22-inch by 9-inch ebony bright machine face aluminum wheel that's included in the driver's package for the Expedition Platinum 600A is currently unavailable unavailable in the U.S. stock orders. So they're going to be looking for retails only on that. Driver's package for Expedition Platinum is currently unavailable as well for U.S. stock orders. So if you're wanting a driver's package, it looks like it's going to be a retail only at this point. So pretty good availability for King Ranch. Looks like they still need to schedule a bunch of those, as well as the different wheels. So the Stealth appearance package, Stealth performance package, I should say, is about 27% of the stock mix. And then, yeah, that's about it. All right. Next up is a 26 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up for the Maverick, and they're doing main commitment this week. It means stock and retails. They are scheduled for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 27th, and they still need to schedule 99% of the production. So they didn't really schedule much last week, it looks like. I think we only had one order schedule. So pretty good availability about what it is for most weeks. Most months, I should say there. It does say the box cover, soft roll-up, and box cover retractable are now available for scheduling. That's the one that's the DIO one. And then orders with the engine block heater will not be selected for scheduling. So make sure you take those off. All right. Next up is the 26 model year Ranger. Order banks are open up, and they do need to schedule 71% of the production yet for April. So they scheduled about 30% last week. They are scheduled for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 13th. It does say in here main commitment, stock, and retails. And this is job 1 balance out, it says already, which is crazy. They just started production. All right. It does say the optional 17-inch forged beadlock capable wheels for the Ranger Raptor are currently unavailable for stock orders. So retail only for those right now. All right. Next up is a 26 model year Super Duty. Order banks are open up for the Super Duty, and it does say in here that they still need to schedule 91% of April production. They've scheduled a lot of March, but they still need to schedule. There's still plenty available for April production dates. They are scheduled this week at Kentucky for the weeks of 3/9 to the weeks of 3/30. And then Ohio for the weeks of 3/9 to the weeks of 4/13. So other than that, they're kind of showing the availability here for this. And most of the unscheduled mix is for stock, not retail. They don't have a lot of retails unscheduled. Looks like the only one that's kind of a constraint is the 176-inch and 142-inch wheelbases with the dual wheels. That is about 30% of the unscheduled orders are that configuration. So that's the big one. Also, the fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package for retail orders, only 6% of the unscheduled orders have that on there. So very low number. So if you have a retail order, things are looking pretty good for you. Max recline seats, about 3% of the retail orders are unscheduled that have that on it. So not too bad there. Pretty good shape there. So there's a lot of stock ones in there, but on the retail side, most of those have gotten scheduled. All right, next up is a 26 model year F-150. Order banks are open up. It looks like they still need to schedule about 67% of April production. They are scheduled for the weeks of 3/9 to the weeks of 4/27. Yes, they still have some March production dates there. And it does say availability. Really on the retail side, about everything's been scheduled on the retail side. There's not a lot of unscheduled retail orders out there that need to schedule, which is great to see. But on the stock side, there are a few, mainly the 3.5 gas engine. But for the most part, they're doing pretty good on the production of the F-150. All right, next up is the 26 model year Transit. Order banks are open up for the Transit. They still need to schedule 62% of the April production. They're scheduled for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 13th. And same note as last week with one addition here with 16-inch matte black alloy wheel and the 16-inch sparkle silver alloy wheel are exhausted. The alternative wheel is the silver steel wheel. Same way on the forged heavy-duty wheel, that 16-inch heavy-duty forged aluminum wheel is exhausted. Try the 16-inch heavy-duty silver steel wheel instead. And then also says availability 3.5 liter V6 engine. Only 2% of the retail orders, have that engine selected. So pretty good shape there. Their availability is 1 to 3%. So hopefully you should be good there to get scheduled. Again, that's within that 1 to 3%. So there you go. So that's all we have for this week. So hopefully good luck to everybody. Hope you can get scheduled. Looks like most factories are in pretty good shape right now to be able to schedule those retail orders. So you're in good luck for everybody out there. The biggest thing is if you are not getting scheduled, then you need to talk to your dealers because it's probably because they don't have allocations for the model you need. Because even though everything looks good here and there's a low amount of retail unscheduled orders out there, if it's with the wrong dealer, that dealer doesn't have allocations, then that's where you're going to see that constraint, and that's where that issue is. So have the conversations with your dealers, find out what they have for available allocations to get for your chance to get scheduled. Outside of that, make sure to subscribe with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos. And until the next video, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.